Good morning.
And I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone and a new
I
day
pray all you
has
guys have had a great morning so
appeared.
far.
And I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here.
It's a beautiful Sunday morning where
Blessings
I
gonna
am.
find me here.
I don't know what your weather's
Oh,
like, but
na,
if
na,
you're getting anything that I'm getting, it's
na, na,
nice.
na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared.
My prayers
And
for you this
I am
morning is that all is well,
grateful that I
everything that
made it
concerns you.
here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah.
Cam, good
Favor gonna
morning.
find me here.
Mr. Robinson,
Oh yeah,
morning,
yeah,
fam.
yeah. I'm missing
No
money gonna
dancing,
find
right?
me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na
G
na.
Denise, what's happening?
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I
We're going to
made
give a
it
few more
here.
people time to log in. Y'all know how
Blessings
we do
gonna
it on Sunday
find me
mornings.
here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful.
Listen, if you haven't already subscribed to the page, go ahead and subscribe to the page.
Yesterday's gone and a new
Hit that
day
like button
has
if you are
appeared.
enjoying these Sunday
And
morning
I am
sessions.
grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here.
Chris Mack, good morning to you.
Yesterday's gone,
Good morning,
and a
Shortcut.
new day
Good
has
morning, Slim.
appeared.
Morning,
And I
Tay.
am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna
Miss Sandra, good
happen in
morning.
this
It's great to have you
year,
with us this morning.
and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I miss money gonna find me here.
We'll give it just a couple more minutes.
Blessings gonna find me here.
Those of you who are just connecting, I pray you all have had a great week and a great weekend so far.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared. And
Good
I
morning,
am
Lucy. How are you?
grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna
Good
find me
morning,
here. Oh yeah, yeah,
Pastor
yeah.
Linda
I miss money
Lewis.
gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful
All right, I'm going to give it about another minute, and we're going to go ahead and hop on and get going this morning. Pastor Ransom, good morning.
Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah. Favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah. I miss say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na.
All right. We'll go ahead and get started this morning. Last week I mentioned that this week we'll be going to take a look at Ecclesiastes 3. It's a very powerful passage. We all know it, but it is a parallel to the seasons that we experience in life, just about every season that you'll ever experience in life. And so if in fact you are ever wondering where you are or what's next in life, if you can go to Ecclesiastes 3 and locate where you are, identify where you are, you'll find where you should go next, what your next season, your next experience, where your next efforts and energies should be geared towards. And so this morning we're going to take a look at that and pray that I hope I give you some power to master your life. Ecclesiastes 3, chapter 3, verse number 1, it says, "To everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens." Verse number 2 says, "A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up." I'm going to stop right there because I'm not sure if we'll get past that this morning. If we do, then cool. Okay, so when the scripture says to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose, things happen within seasons. Of course, we know that. We understand that very clearly. Everything that should happen in your life, everything that you believe will happen, that you desire to happen, it's coming in a certain season. And if you can identify what seasons you're in, you can identify the things that are available for you in that season, or you will, without doubt, manifest the things that are predestined for that season, right? And it says a time to every purpose. So now when you're believing God for things, you're waiting on seasons. But whenever you're fulfilling purpose, you're looking for the right times. There are times that purpose is fulfilled. There are times that purpose is at work or at play in your life. And so you have to be able to identify whether or not what's before you, if that's just a thing that you desire, or if it's part of purpose, because you can know your purpose, but you must understand that your purpose is has been set to a time, and so you don't operate in purpose just at will. And I know some people may argue that, but I can't argue with the text. It says there is a time for every purpose. Every purpose in your life, there's an appointed time in which you fulfill that purpose. We experience anxiety and burnout whenever we're trying to labor in our purpose at the wrong time. You become frustrated when you go to work and you're trying to pastor the people that work the second shift with you, because that's not the time for you to operate in that purpose, right? And so you stuffing the Bible down everybody's throat and you wonder why everybody's choking and nobody's able to digest it. Is because you're trying to labor in your purpose at the wrong time. It's whenever your spouse is upset and the communication is horrible and you are trying to I almost said something. you trying to throw them a theological perspective that you have on the situation according to your philosophy that's been given by revelation from God. And so you wondering why you're further irritating them, and because it's not the time for that. Now, there is purpose in maintaining a healthy relationship. It's a part of our purpose to have healthy relationships, whether it be marriages, professional relationships, social relationships, or what have you. There's a time for that, and you have to know how to operate and move within that time. So, now that we've established that there's to everything there's a season, and then there's a time to every purpose under the heavens. We understand what that means. Things are manifest in seasons, and purposes are fulfilled at appointed times, right? Every single purpose. There is no what is my purpose in life, as if there's only one purpose that you've been set here to fulfill. If you believe that, you may spend your entire life trying to find your purpose. But whenever you understand that you all have been created multi-purpose or all-purpose by God, you understand it's not just one purpose. So you don't want to lose time. You don't want to lose life trying to figure out the one purpose, because just as I have a purpose to be a voice to God's people, I also have a purpose to be a father. I have a purpose to be an entrepreneur. I have a purpose to, different purposes. And so I have to know what time I'm standing in order to fulfill that purpose. Okay. So verse number 2, it says there's a time to be born and a time to die. So these, as you can see, and you probably know, these are polar opposites, every one of these instances that are mentioned here in Ecclesiastes 3, all the way down through verse number 8, I believe it is. They're polar opposites. And so we're going to break down some of these and see how they parallel with your life. Verse number 2 says, a time to be born and a time to die. Understand that this time to be born and time to die is not just referring to your birth date or death date. Okay, it's referring more to a birthing. There's a time to give birth. There's a time to bring forth. There's a time to multiply. Remember the charge that was given: be fruitful, multiply. That's a part of this time to be born. There's a time where you will birth things, and these times are not in one moment or a single dispensation or window of time. You're not going to birth everything in one window. You hear sayings like, champions are born, not made, and stuff like that. Yeah, that's true. But in the what's further true is you may not be born a champion, but you can bring forth, you can birth a champion from within at a later time. You may not be a champion from your birth date, but with hard work and good work ethic, you can birth, you can bring forth that out of your productivity. The spirit of a champion, it can be birthed forward, and not just that, but so many other things. There are things that are still in you that have not been born yet. And so what you do is we end up wrestling with the fact that we feel and we know in our spirits that we have so much in us, but we are not manifesting what's in us. And so it's frustrating because you say, like, I know I will be good at that. And you're wondering, why is it that you just can't do it? You can't bring yourself to do it. You always are distracted by something. There's always some obstruction standing between what's in you and you actually bringing forth that thing, birthing it. And when this happens, you must understand that this is a part of the labor process. This is a part of you going in labor, and you literally have to push some of those things, you have to push them out. You have to push them into manifestation. And that's no easy task, as any of the women here today can tell you. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. It's not going to be, like a 1, 2, 3, push, boom, there you have it. Most of the times, there are other things that happen, and as with natural labor, you can experience complications when you're trying to birth something that is relevant to your purpose. And so you also have to have the right season to birth these things. Remember, to everything, there's a season. And so you have to know, you have to have when a woman finds out she's pregnant, they give her a due date, and there's a window of time when they're saying like it should be coming around this time. And the great thing about that is sometimes they you can give birth early and still be okay. The baby, that is the thing that is being birthed. But then there are times when you can birth something or a baby too early, and a baby has to stay in the hospital because everything has not yet developed. This is why it's so important to know the time that you should birth or bring forth, or the time that certain things in your life or that's inside of you should be born. Pray about the time. Pray about the time, because if you birth something before it's time, you may have to sit with it for a while. It may have to go through a period of incubation after you have brought it forth. And so what happens usually in that case is we get so frustrated with the waiting because we have not allowed patience to have her perfect work in us, so to speak. We get frustrated and we walk away and we leave that thing that we've birthed, that thing that we've brought forth. We'll leave it in NICU and go on to the next thing and trying to birth something else. And you spend your time birthing a lot of things, but never really fulfilling the purpose in which they were birthed. We say it this way, and you probably heard it said this way growing up: a jack of all trades and a master of none. That means that you're great at birthing things. You can produce things. You can bring forth things, but you've never really fulfilled or totally mastered what it is that you've brought forth. There is no fulfillment in a single area, although you have all these different areas that you have the potential to be effective in. So there is a time to birth. There's a time to bring forth. And then the scripture says, and likewise, there's a time to die. There's a time to die. I said initially that this is not referring to your death date only. But when you look at a time to die, there's a time for certain things in you to die. There's a time for you wanting to fight people at the red light. That you should come to a time in your life where that thing dies, and that's no longer a part of who you are, and that there is no place for it where you are. The thing that slows us down is when we are living through and moving through life carrying things in us that's dying. And we're doing everything we can to keep those things alive, but it's just dying. Have you ever been in a relationship, and when the relationship begins to die, you're trying to do everything to hold on? And doing everything to hold on is having a greater impact than just letting the thing die. And you're carrying it, you heavy. It don't matter how you wake up. You can wake up feeling good physically. You can wake up in a better mental state in some instances, but emotionally it's still there. You can feel it because you're carrying something that is dying. And it's hard to watch something that you love, something that you've birthed. It's hard to watch it die. But according to the scripture, there is a time for everything to die. Everything that is born, it is a time to die. Nothing is forever except our sovereign creator and the souls that we identify as, that he has created to exist eternally. Everything else has a beginning and an ending to it. And so you have to understand that whenever you come to the time to die, when you come to this time in your life, that you need to see and search your heart and see what's got to go. What's got to go. You got to see what you have to search so that you can see what's got to go. And you have to eulogize those things out of your life. Don't carry them. Don't carry them. A long time ago, whenever you killed a person, when you were found guilty of murder, what a part of your punishment and your sentencing after judgment, they would make you tie a rope around your waist, and the other end of the rope they will carry or they would tie it around the individual that you killed. And you would have to drag that corpse around with you everywhere that you went. Ultimately, as the body began to decay and other things, you would ultimately become sick and affected and infected by the decay of the body. And ultimately, your cause of death will be that you killed something that you did not have the authority to kill, right? Because you're carrying it around, and that is the cause of death. And so, what I'm saying to you is that whenever you carry things around that's dead and you don't let them die and you're still trying to carry them, it could end up killing you. It could end up killing you. You know what I'm saying? And so I need to say that again. When you're carrying things that you just need to let die and let go, it could end up killing you. Come on, grudges. Come on, unforgiveness. Come on. You carrying this stuff around, and it'll end up killing you because you just couldn't let it die, neither could you let it go. And as the more these things begin to decay in us, even though they were very much alive at one time in our life and very much a part of it, but once it began to die and decay, and you refuse to break the connection, you refuse to let it go, you can end up being affected and infected by this same thing, and you find yourself curing a disease or dis-ease internally to the point to where you yourself, your very life becomes threatened by what it is that you're unable to let go. And so sometimes you have to learn how to let things die, because dying is a part of the process of life. That time to die is a part of the seasons of our lives that we will all experience it. We will all experience there is no way around it. There is no way that you will not have to reckon with the death of certain things that was once alive in you. And it happens naturally if you allow it to, if you just mature and stay on course and stay focused. Some of us here, we used to like to go out and party and have a good time. And as time continued, that dimension of us, it just began to die on its own. And it was no longer that you had to go out every week. It was no longer that you had to be in the club. It was no longer that you had the need for certain things that you had, because that need, the purpose for that in your life had begun to die. You went out, you experienced what you've experienced. You've traveled, you've done all those things. And so the need to do that and the desire to do that begins to die. And the worst thing you can do is try to hold on to it. That'll be like that'll be like me. I'm showing up at the club tonight with a silk red two-piece pantsuit on, with some red shoes that's kind of long at the toe, with some sunglasses on, walking around the club with a bunch of gold chains around my neck. And because I refuse to let that dimension go, and everybody looking at me knowing that it's dead. He ain't got it no more. Sit down. And so, unfortunately, many of us we carry things, or when we refuse to let things die, that's how it is. Have you ever, or do you know someone that no matter how long it's been since you talked to him, yes, ma'am, Rashonda, you know how it goes. Do you know someone that, no matter how long it's been since you talked to them, they find a way to bring up something that is just way too old to still be a part of the conversation? And as soon as they bring it up, you know it's coming. And as soon as they bring it up, despite the fact that you knew it was coming, as soon as they bring it up, it just takes so much of your life and your desire to finish a conversation with them. You just be like, oh my goodness, okay, I got to go. And you go and you point at somebody in the room with you and hit this number, call my phone. Okay, look, I gotta go. I'm getting a phone call. I'll talk to you later. It was good hearing from you. Because they don't know how to let certain things die. And they still care. And it's been 10, 15 years. It doesn't matter who, how big or how small it is, but some people just have a problem with letting things die. You were offended last month because somebody said, I didn't ask for your opinion. And so you carrying that. And so now you are refusing to let that die because it didn't kill you. So why carry it until it does? Do you get that? If it doesn't kill you when it happened, why would you carry it and let it kill you after the fact? That's just like surviving a storm or surviving a tornado, and then when the after rain is falling, then you drown in the after rain, but the storm is already past. No. You have to know how to let things go and not carry them, because carrying things that are supposed to be dead will kill you. Okay, relationships. I hope relationships hear me. Let some of that stuff go, man. It didn't kill you. You survived it. And if you survived it, why not let it go? I'm not saying it doesn't have an impact, and it did not impact your life. And I'm not minimizing anything that you may have experienced relationally, but you have to let some things go. How are you still walking around here married to somebody else, and you still have hatred and a grudge and still feel a type of way about your ex? I don't want you. I don't want to be a part of that trio you have going on. If you still that bitter with your ex, then you and him need to go and work that out, and we'll see what it's gonna be after that. You carrying that dead stuff. Anytime somebody say his name, you on my arm, but you get at, girl, don't say his name around me. I wish he'd do this, or man, I can't stand her. Every time I see her, I want to knock her block off. All that kind of stuff. Man, there's no need to carry that stuff. Let it die. Let it die. You have to say to yourself, Eric, let it die. Quit carrying that. Don't carry that. Don't carry it. I catch myself all the time. I remember stuff out of the blue. I'm like, I don't remember. Sure did. Man. And I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that die. That's dead. I'm not carrying that. I'm not about to find myself nowhere in my Sunday morning, February 25th, I believe it is, 2024. I am not about to let somebody from 2015 that offended me, or I felt like handled me in a way that wasn't warranted. I'm not about to let them in my day to day. They're not coming today. You don't get to be a part of my life today. And you're dead? It's dead? Why do you keep allowing dead things to show up and be a part of your day? And you thank God for a new day. When you wake up, thank you for waking me up this morning, Lord. So let me get busy filling it up with all this dead stuff that I don't want to let go. That's right. Shonda said, get re-mad. Yeah, you get re-mad about something dead. And then you get re-hurt, and then you have to re-cry, sliding down the wall, and the whole 9 yards. Sitting in the car, beating the steering wheel, all that stuff. Let that stuff go. it's a time to just let things go. You are not permitted by the makeup of your body, your spirit, and your destiny to carry dead things. You don't have authorization to do that, right? Let's go on. Verse number 2, it says, and it's a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Okay, so here we have the principle. We have the principle of sowing and reaping right here. The Bible says, be not deceived. God will not be mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. It doesn't matter. If you sow it, then you are authorized to reap it. And you will inevitably reap what it is that you sow. You're not gonna reap something that you don't sow, right? Kindness, love, loyalty, respect. And see, I'm saying those things because some of y'all on that $20 that you put in the offering, that's the only thing you want to reap. And that's the only thing you want to sow. But there are other things that you can sow that you should be able to reap. And so when we talk about the time to plant, check this out. This means planting. Planting, whenever you're planting something, you plant a thing by putting it in the earth and covering it up and it being out of sight. I hope you get this. As long as you can still see what you think that you're planting, then it's not planted. You just laid it on the ground. It fell by the wayside. As long as you can see it, it hasn't been planted yet. Because in order to be planted, it has to go into the earth and be covered. In other words, it has to be out of sight. If every time you get mad, you remember everything that you've done for the person that made you mad, come on now. Y'all don't want to have this conversation because all of y'all, all of y'all, all of y'all right now saying, do I do that? Yeah, we all do. We all have at some point or another. But when you're serious about your harvest, when you're serious about what you reap, you'll plant some and leave it in the ground and trust the process. Did you hear what I said? You'll plant it, you'll leave it in the ground, put it out of sight, and trust the process, knowing that you will reap what you sow. Whenever you did good by someone that in turn handle you carelessly, you don't rehearse every time you think of that person or every time you talk to that person or every time you are in conversation about that person. You don't rehearse, I was so good. I was so good to them. I was too good to be treated the way that I was treated. You don't do that. You let that go. You get it out of sight. I did good. I wasn't keeping score because this is who I am, because I am looking forward to the time where I'm able to pluck up or reap the same type of kindness and goodness that I've sown. I know it's coming because I trust the process. There's no way that I could treat everybody right and not be treated right. See, that's the lie that you're sold through the spirit of rejection. The spirit of rejection will tell you it doesn't matter what you plant, you ain't never getting a harvest from it. You'll never get a chance to reap it. You'll never pluck this up. And so you start forfeiting your harvest. And so you don't reap anything. Why? Because you don't plant anything. Why? Because you don't believe that you can put it in the earth or put it out of sight, and you can't trust the process. So you have to put it in the ground. You have to put it out of sight. Put it out of sight. You can't you won't be able to stand up and just plant a seed and then watch it grow up to a tree. You will not be able to do that. You will have to go on about your life except you lose everything standing over a seed in the ground. I hope you're getting this. You're in a relationship, you do something nice and you just stand there and wait. I brought you lunch last week, and you waiting every day for them to buy you dinner, and you can't move past that. And every time you get every time you get hurt, you say, but didn't I buy you dinner though? Or didn't I buy you lunch though? And what did you do? That's how we do it. But just like there's a time to plant, there's also a time to pluck up that which is planted. There's a time to pluck up that which is planted. There's a time for you to reap. If you trust the process, it is inevitable that you come into your time and your season where you're able to reap the benefits of the seeds that you have sown in your life. You will reap the benefits of the seed. There is no way that the seed could escape and move underground to a undisclosed location, and you have to go and hunt for it. You reap what you sow, but you also reap where you sow. You reap what you sow, but you also reap where you sow. If you're sowing in grounds of kindness, grounds of loyalty, out of loyalty, you will reap. Out of kindness, you will reap. You understand what I'm saying? And so this is the thing that we have to remember moving through life. We're just about out of time. I thought we would get to verse number 3, but we're going to continue to go through these for the next couple weeks. But you have to, I want you guys just to work on these two that we went over this morning, the recognizing the time to birth things and the time to let things die and let things go, the time to plant things and the time to pluck up the things that have been planted, but never pluck things up before their time. There's no sense in you planting a plum tree and the first time you see a tiny little berry on the tree, you go pick it talking about, I got plums. No, ma'am. You plucked that up too soon. So because it wasn't time to pluck it up, but there is a time to pluck it up. Just like there's a time to plant it. You can't go around and just plant it when you want to. You have to plant it in season. You have to make sure that you're planting at the right time. Make sure that you're plucking up at the right time. And so, like I said, we'll continue. There's so much here. I won't be able to get even through all of this that I thought I would have today, but we will continue on next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I pray that you guys have a great rest of your day and a wonderful, wonderful week, the greatest week of this year so far. Listen, I want to take a moment before we end because I want to challenge your hearts and your giving today. I told you that I will be reiterating this. I believe that we're in a season spiritually. We're in a season that we as believers need to have seed in the ground. We have to have seed in the ground because what is coming. And just like I just got done saying, you reap what you sow and you reap where you sow. Okay? So I believe that because of what's coming, we need to have seed in the ground. And you guys know that this is not something that I have really addressed in years, but I'm sharing this with you because of what's been in my heart and in my spirit as it relates to having seed in the ground, having a place to reap from when the time comes that we should reap. And because of what is coming before us, it will be in your best interest to make sure that you have seed in the ground. So I want to challenge you today to go and sow your seed. You guys, typically, whenever we log off of sessions like this, we go because you don't have to walk down the aisle and pass by an offering basket or stand and hold your seed in the air and lift it to God and repeat after me. That's formality. That's what we do according to religion. What I'm asking you to do in this season of your life is to do it from your heart, according to your integrity when no one is looking. When no one is looking. And you can say, well, I do sow. I sow mine at Marshall and Ross. Yeah. Well, you'll reap some good sales from there. But I'm saying I think that we need to get back to giving because of the spirit of greed that is over our country. There are so many things that can be broken with a seed. There's so many things that can be produced and birthed with a seed and conceived by a seed. So it's important that you guys do that. And so today, I'm asking you as we log off here, as we log off, immediately just take a minute and go and sow your seeds. And let's get back to consistency with that. I love you all. I'll see you next Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you need me before then, hit me up. Text message, email, inbox, DM, phone call, however you do it. I'll get back to you at my earliest convenience. I love you all. I bid you all blessings and Godspeed, and I will see you all on next Sunday morning. I love you.
Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah, favor gonna find me here. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, say money gonna find me here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh na 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 na. Something good gonna happen in this year, and I am grateful that I made it here. Yesterday's gone, and a new day has appeared, and I am grateful that I made it here. Blessings gonna find me here. Oh yeah, favor gonna find me here.
Love you
Oh
guys.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, say money gonna find me.